Welcome everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 3, Episode 4 of Cthulhu Wars. It's our fourth turn. We are playing the Azathoth expansion. And as you guys know, this month has been Yellow Sign Month. We played Signs of Carcosa for Eldritch Horror. And we also played Hastur in our Cthulhu Death May Die Eldritch Idols game. And here we are playing the three old ones that are the topics of the Pontos Fathom Press trilogy: Hermeticism of Hastur, the Necromancy of Nyarlathotep, and Azathoth. So we've got those same three great old ones on the board. For us, this is a playthrough to try to get all the mechanics of the Azathoth expansion onto the board. It's my first time using them, and just trying to get a feel for what the trade-offs are in switching out to an Azathoth spell card. We've already spawned the Stars Are Right onto the Crawling Chaos. So if you spawn a spell card from the Azathoth expansion spellbook, if you spawn a spellbook from the Azathoth set, you basically don't get to spawn one of your other ones. So you have to be pretty sure which one. And there's some videos out there where people have gone through the strategies for this and think through it. So I think that's a great way to think about it. So if you take a quick look at the board, another thing that's jumped out at us here is the Star Vampire is now spawned. So the Star Vampire is part of the Crawling Chaos faction now, and that's the purchase of these neutral forces comes through the Doom phase. And we also have King in Yellow on the board. Yellow sign has the first turn into turn 4, so let's get right into turn 4 with a cultist moving into Africa. We'll move the track down by 1, and we will switch turns over to Crawling Chaos. So now Crawling Chaos has to capture an enemy cultist as one of their tasks. So I will have the enemy cultist, I'll have him jump up here and capture this enemy cultist, right? So we can capture that enemy cultist right away, and we're going to take that gate as well. Okay, so that's just a flying move of 1. And I believe capturing the enemy cultist, there's no roll needed. It just happens, right? So capturing an enemy cultist. Guys, comment me down below if that's the case. But I just look at quickly. Action types 23. If I would look at action types, page 23, the kind of actions we can do are, that's a recruit cultist. Capture a cultist means the removing of an enemy cultist from the map. To capture a cultist, you must have a monster or greater old one in the same area. However, the enemy cultist you wish to capture cannot have a protector in the same area. So he didn't have a protector, and we got him. So we've captured that one, and now we've gained control of that gate. So let's flip now back over to Yellow Sign. So Yellow Sign now can roll again to desecrate. And finally, they desecrate this space. So desecrate is equal to or less than the units in the area, including the king. We get a 4. Desecrate. We've desecrated this sigil, this glyph, and we'll go ahead and grab, instead of from our Yellow Sign spell books, we will go ahead and grab a spell book from Azathoth set. So we have Shriveling, select a monster in battle. Recriminations, remove any spell book from your faction cards and replace it with another one. That's pretty King in Yellow, I think. That seems kind of a good candidate. Gates now cost 2 power to build. Okay. At the end of the gates, power has been determined. You may choose to sacrifice cultists for power. Okay. Rearrange your units as you see fit. I think undimensional is perfect for yellow sign, right? Between recriminations and yellow and undimensioned, I think I will go with undimensioned. So we will put undimensioned now. And I think that fits with the yellow sign theme because, you know, there's always this sort of blurring of reality in the in all the yellow mythos, you know, where there's sort of like it's right on the other side, like it's sort of like a Stranger Things thing. Okay, so they've got undimensioned. That was the action, I believe. That's the action. They do have to cost 2 to perform the desecrate. So we performed the desecrate. We've taken our points, and we're going to move over to Crawling Chaos. So Crawling Chaos now has captured an enemy cultist, by the way. So if we go into our deck, we can see move Hunting Horse from the battle, pre-battle seek and destroy. You know what I'm going to do just to make it kind of interesting? I'm going to swap out. I'm going to add in remove any spell book, and then I can swap out another spell book as an action, right? I'm going to go have 2 spells from the Azathoth set. I might be able to swap this one out if we don't want to use that Doom phase. We can be strategic about it. And if we have a battle, if we think a battle's coming up, we can swap out some other ones. So let's try Recriminations. Action cost 1. That was our, for the capture, we still get to do our turn. So for our turn, I think I will, let's go ahead and spawn, what does it take to spawn Nyarlathotep? You must have a control gate. You must pay 10 power. Okay, so we can't do it in this turn. So let's spawn a couple monsters. Okay, so let's go ahead and spawn another flying polyp. So we can add another flying polyp to the roster. We can put him, maybe we'll spawn him in North America. So we'll spawn flying polyp. Cost of that is 2. To bring us down to 6. Switch over to yellow sign. So now yellow sign has gotten 3. They have gotten the undimensional. And for 2 units, they can arrange their... well, maybe they should spawn something, yeah. I think that they should spawn... just because they need to keep this protected. So maybe they could spawn a Biake. So for 2 points, they'll spawn a Biake. And they'll spawn it here. So now we have some protection here. So Biake has been spawned. Next up, Crawling Chaos. They also will go ahead and spawn, just to keep this covered, maybe one more night haunting horror, another haunting horror for them in Australia. That's for 3. Next up, they will Crawling Chaos, rearranging the board for actually spawning a gate. They should spawn a gate here for 1, 2, 3. Spawning a gate on their turn. Let's move it back to Crawling Chaos. Let's have them move their Star Vampire up to the Arctic Ocean. They'll keep the gate controlled. So I think most of these gates, they're protected. And that will cost 1 move. And then let's try to see. So basically, what we have to double down is spawning Nyarlathotep. I need 10 points. So we just have to keep enough power to have 10 points. Let's go next to maybe we go off and make another gate somewhere on our next turn. Okay, so turn goes back to yellow sign. Yellow sign will... Okay, so this is where we'll do it. Yellow sign moves king in yellow and 2 cultists to South America for 2 points, using his undimensional for 2 points. And maybe what he'll do first is, sorry, instead of using undimensional for 2 points, we'll have him spawn another creature here to protect the space. So we'll have him spawn a Biake here as well. That will cost 2. And then the Crawling Chaos will move to Antarctica for 1. And back to Crawling Chaos for 2. So they're there. Crawling Chaos for 2, leaving them 1 power. Crawling Chaos will, as I mentioned, let's have them rearrange using undimensional 3 to here. They immediately capture the cultists, so we can put him on the top. He can be recruited back again later. So that moves them down to 1. Crawling Chaos is out of juice. King in yellow has 1, but cannot desecrate. So they will simply... What can they do? What can they do? What can they do? They cannot desecrate. What can they do with their 1 point? I guess they will... Can they spawn? Oh, they're just going to recruit a cultist. So they'll spawn back their cultists here. Maybe they'll spawn back their cultist here so that they have the advantage. Use up their final point. And that's going to end the action phase. So let's go to gather power phase. So things have shifted a bit. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 gates for Crawling Chaos, plus 5 acolytes. So 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8, plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus per abandoned gate, power of any special ability. Do they have any other special ability? No, so they have 5. So let's go ahead and count up Crawling Chaos. They've got 1, 2, 3 gates, which is 6. Plus they have 6, which is 12. Plus they get 2 points for desecration. 1, 2. So there. So it's 14 and 13. So now suddenly we find. Crawling Chaos is ahead. So now we're going to go to the Doom phase. Let's do by controlled gates. So yellow sign has 1, 2, 3 controlled gates. So they get 1, 2, 3. We have 4. Nyarlathotep, when I say we, 1, 2, 3, 4, since technically both are 4. Both are we. And I think that's going to wrap up the game. But let's just go ahead and spend... we'll have, because Crawling Chaos doesn't have another creature on the board, And they're ahead with the doom points. So let's have them also do a Rituals of Annihilation. Well, actually, they'll just do Rituals of Annihilation. They'll pay 6. So they'll go down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they will use that 6 to summon a so Dimensional Shambler. An Elder Thing, a Servitor of the Outer Gods. Walk Between Worlds. When summoning, place on your faction card after any action by a Shambler from your faction card in any area. Once placed, Dimensional Shamblers remain on the map until killed or eliminated. So basically it's just after any action by a player, place one or more Dimensional Shamblers from your faction card. So to obtain, place one Dimensional Shambler on the faction card. After any action by any player, place one or more Shambler from your faction card in any area. Once placed, so basically we just get these Dimensional Shamblers. So let's go ahead and get one, right? Let's go ahead and put one down. I'm going to add one to maybe to Africa here. So we've got, oh, actually I put it on my card, put it on my faction card, and then when the other player has an action, I can just stick it on the board. So I can use that as sort of a, and I will put this card here just to track, and I will use a Biake on this one to show that it's yellow and blue. This is the blue friends and the yellow friends. Okay, great. And then we still have Elder Things and Servitors of the Outer God to include. So we've got spell books from the Azathoth deck. We have monsters spawned. Maybe we get into some combat in turn 5. I think it's inevitable. We definitely are going to have to start that. Most likely, actually, let me reduce this by 2, which I forgot. So that gets reduced by 2 on the Doom track. And then we advance this up to 7, I believe. Then next one is probably we'll have to get the Desecration for here to get the next spell book. And it looks like Awaken Nyarlathotep is coming soon too. So, and that would just leave allowing the enemy to get doom points, which we can do really at any time, and then Awaken Hastur and receive an Elder Sign. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you back on turn 5. And thanks for checking out the links below, leaving your comments, and hopefully earned your subscription today. So thank you very much. Take care. Bye.